A lot of people seem to shit on AI without even knowing whatever the hell it is. So, first, we're going to be addressing the biggest elephant in the room. What the hell is AI? That's the question, right? So, right now, I want you to imagine your own brain's networks. You know that there are a lot of connections inside of your head, right? And everything is connected in a certain way where one lights up and another doesn't, and one lights up and the other doesn't. And by that, you're able to make decisions. The same way an AI makes decisions is kind of akin to that. It's the same way. So instead of having a tiny brain with a lot of these tiny synapses and a lot of tiny neurons, what it has is a huge brain with a lot of neurons. So where we and the AI differ is essentially the only input area. So an AI can take inputs faster and give out outputs so much faster, while a human takes some processing time. Mind you, our processing time is almost faster than all of the animals out there. And yet, this is faster. So, it's only fair that we think of AI as its own separate species than as a human. Okay? AI is a separate species in our dictionary now. Now, I'm going to teach you how an AI image generator works. Alright? First of all, there are many ways of training AI. But for this video, I'm going to only give you the ones that are specific to our current situation. For our example, you're allowed to think of a baby as this AI. But this baby is super intelligent and can be anywhere, everywhere, all at once. So what this baby does is it puts its hands on things and it tries to find patterns between them. It's like, whoa, cool, I found a pattern. And it'll basically make a shit ton of patterns inside its head, and it makes associations of different things with different other things, and that's how it learns. I'm going to give you an example now. If this baby has seen enough doggies, it can try to draw one, right? This is a very bad impression of a dog, don't mind it. Now, when the baby tries to draw, it need not hold a pencil, put everything away, and focus on the drawing for a few seconds at the very least. All it has to do is have a thought and display it to the world. Like literally, that's it. The patterns it makes, it takes that and puts this into this place called noise. I'm oversimplifying, but think of noise as somewhat of a paper. It's like they trick this baby into thinking that the noise is some image, and they ask it to put the pattern on that image and make some image out of it. Like they say, this is a picture of Squidward. Now finish Squidward. So it's gonna put in the eyes, it's gonna put in another eye, it's gonna put in a mouth, and it's going to extend Squidward's nose, because we all know Squidward has a huge nose. So that's how the AI basically completes images. It uses noise as its paper, and there is no pencil. It just displays its thought on there and it's done. So that's the main difference between AI. Our thinking times may be the same. Like some of us have this thing called hyperphantasia, where we are able to vividly imagine stuff in our heads. But for us, it takes time to put that image in our head onto the paper. For the AI, that time is nil. So that's why it's able to produce a lot of art fast. A lot of people seem to think this is copying, but no, it works in the way your brain does too. But there is this huge problem when it comes to copyright when you even think about it this way. Although the AI is not copying, the AI is putting in all the work. So it is AI generated imagery. And I see no human here. Like, he might have written a sentence, human rights, picture of Jotaro Kujo. This, my friend, is essentially a sentence. How the hell are you gonna get a copyright for a sentence? How? If the AI does most of the work, the human doesn't need to get the copyright, right? That's basically what our current law states. The human doesn't get the copyright for an AI generating an artwork because all he did was write a sentence. But the situation turns around when you start thinking of mediums such as comic books. Like, there was this one graphic novel, I don't remember its name exactly, Zarya of the Dawn. The Dawn. That's first of all a shit name, and it shows you what the creator actually intended for the story. He intended nothing. He or she, I don't really know. I don't remember that thing's gender. So, what that AI bro did is he made a graphic novel out of AI imagery, but he did his own writings, perhaps. Or maybe AI did that too, but it was not disclosed in the court. So we are going to abide by what was stated in that statement. Okay, there was this cover image, like this random girl looking like Zendaya on the cover page. So actors can also sue for likeness here. I know that. But first of all, this page is not copyrighted. You know what is copyrighted? The arrangement of those images. Because copyright can only be obtained if there is sufficient amount of human work in that area. So people get copyrights for the arrangement of the images. It's like how you cannot copyright the sentence, "Hi, my name is Monish." But you can still copyright the book title, "Hi, my name is Monish." So if somebody goes and says something to somebody else, like, "Hi, my name is Monish," that sentence is not copyrighted. But when it comes to the name of books, and if you want to name your book, "Hi, my name is Monish," then you have a problem. I think you're starting to get the idea. But if it's like a whole book and there is no chance and no way in hell that anybody accidentally makes the whole book again without actually reading the first one, then that book would get sued for copyright infringement. I think you're starting to get the idea of what I'm trying to say. I might be all over the place, but that's mostly because this video isn't scripted. Okay, now I think you know why AI artworks don't get copyrights. Let's move on to the next part. Even if AI artworks don't have copyrights, the AI bros can still make a shit ton of money out of them. How? By making PFPs for those who ask for it, by working on magazine covers. Magazine covers, they require copyright, so this is a big no-no. They're still going to have to hire artists afterwards, so AI bros won't go there. They make graphic novels. Like heck, there are even videos that tell you how you can make a graphic novel in a freaking day with AI. And there's a guy who did that with Midjourney. Although the quality wasn't great, it was still a graphic novel. And also, all these AI bros want to do is essentially make a quick buck, if you can notice. They're not here to create for passion. They're not here to essentially work through those hours of grueling pain to have their creations come alive. All they want is a quick buck. No, quick buck. Yes. Okay, now that we know what the AI bros want, do you want to know what they do? Well, a lot of companies are trying to now help artists opt out of their datasets. And a lot of artists have stood up to this, like say Sakimi-chan and Sam Does Arts. Yeah, that was a whole story about Sam Does Arts' work getting ripped off by an AI. And after his work got stolen, he essentially made a video about it. Okay, now we know that they steal works of other artists, they feed it to another species, and they use it to, make art. Should we still be calling that piece art? No, I think we should be calling it imagery. First, we're not going to give it the respect it never deserved. We're first going to call it imagery. Imagery made by an AI. Because you did nothing. You were like the client there. The client sits there and prompts the artist, and the artist makes the work. So that's how stuff used to work. And, well, imagery can still be useful sometimes, like in places where we need references and all, but when it's made so unethically, it's a problem. So I'd even say AI is good up to an extent where it's made from public domain stuff. But the place where it gets scary is when it steals from actual artists who are unwilling to give their work. It's like this. Think I'm sitting in Peter Hand's lecture and I didn't pay for his classes. Will he still let me sit there? No, I'll get my ass whooped out of the room because, well, I don't have enough money to afford his lectures. So, if you want value from somebody, you're going to go and have to pay for that as well. But what this AI is doing is, it's taking the image that's all images that are all available to them and it's learning from them. Okay, now that that's cleared up, let us look at the various works that AI bros have made. There was this one called a Zarya of the Dawn that some dude or some girl made. I don't even know if it's a boy or a girl. I think I told this to you already. Zarya of the Dawn, wasn't it? I'm going to show that cover to you now. Zarya of the Dawn. So as I was saying, this image itself, it doesn't get copyright. Like, this is not going to get copyright, no way in hell. But the arrangement of the images inside the book got the copyright. The story is most likely not that good, but since it was made by AI, it became a huge controversy. And if this keeps on happening, we will hit a stage in the lives of ours where all the works we make are inferior to that made by a robot. The robot is going to be much more taller than us in our abilities to, make art. And we are going to suffer a loss in money. So, by this point, when artists are replaced, I'd expect there to be this universal income for everybody. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be there, so let us explore our alternative routes. So if you want to still survive in the age of AI while being an artist, I suggest getting your hands on distribution. What is distribution? Blah, 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 blah. If you're really asking me that, well, the answer is, it's to put your work out on social media and have other people become followers of yours. You can help them learn their own art, you can sell them stuff, you can have a store or so, and you can do all of these things. You can make graphic novels, challenges, all of that. So growing your social media is a huge part, but you must be like, bro, how the hell am I gonna grow my social media if that's where they're stealing from? I got you, bro. I got you. I know. See, I'm going to give you a weird suggestion that you're going to have to think through. First of all, you need to make time-lapse videos on YouTube for this. You're gonna have to quit Instagram. You're gonna have to quit TikTok. You're gonna have to quit all these other platforms. There are a plethora of reasons for this other than the fact that it's an AI stealing or AI web scraping arena where people just get the images straight. You see, when you have a YouTube time-lapse video, it's going to be as long as something like at a bare minimum 10 minutes, right? The people who watch it are people with good attention spans, and the people who watch it are clearly interested. But when it comes to Instagram or TikTok, they are clearly bored. Both. They are clearly bored and are clearly low attention span. They house a low attention span capability inside of them. Span. Yup. These are the other advantages that you have for YouTube. If you get here, web scraping is going to be a shit ton of times harder. But for that, you're going to have to put the thumbnail to be something that is blurred. Like, make sure that any human can see it, but if a machine tries to replicate it, it's going to end up at the blurred image anyway. So your art style will remain safe. Blur it, mosaic it, pixelate it, all of these things, and use that as a thumbnail and draw a huge question mark on top of it. And by doing that, you're going to invoke a mystery in your audience that will make them want to look at that time lapse. And yup. And also, you're like, why is Instagram bad, brother? Well, I gave you these 2 reasons, right? If you want more, here's more. It's an AI web scraping hot ground, as I said earlier. That does not essentially mean that your work is gonna be screenshotted by some random dude and be put in his own AI model. That's essentially a LoRa. Ha ha ha. No, it does not mean that. It's when some random company takes the API and sends an API request to that specific application and gets back the data filled with your images and puts that into their own corporate model. And everybody will be like, I'm gonna search by the name Monish. Really good artwork. Really good Renaissance style paintings. Blah, blah, blah. All that bullshit will happen. If you don't want your style be stolen, you can use those things. And another thing, in a lavender tone video, I caught that there is this platform named Enview. Now, I'm not experimenting right now, but I'm pretty sure that I saw them making AI API requests not possible so that these companies cannot web scrape. And voila, that was the basics of what's going on in the art world. And let's get into more depth as to how you can defend yourself. I already gave you one method. Let me give you another. There is this thing called nightshade. So, as humans, we have very pathetic vision. We can only see a little bit of the whole emission spectrum in terms of the photon emissions. Okay, what are we seeing? Well, we only see this portion. It's called the visible region. So there is a possibility that you can put in stuff that does not belong to the visible region, pixels of that, and you can make patterns that will only appear to the AI and be taken up by it. And it will use that hidden pixels to think that a cat is a dog and a dog is a cat. And Nightshade is essentially putting those weird pixels in that's out of the visible spectrum. No. That was a really stupid idea. You can think of it more like if I had this huge box and I put in random dot here, are you able to see this random dot? No. So it's going to put a lot of random dots that imply a different pattern than the original painting would imply to the AI art generator's training program. And then it will learn very wrongly and then it will start messing up. Okay. That was about Nightshade. And there's another thing called glaze. It doesn't use these random pixels in the same way. It just tries to shield the art style of the artist. Like when I told you about the classifications, did I talk about classifications? Yeah, that was not in this take, I think. Yeah, it was in this take. Okay, it finds a lot of different patterns and groups things together. I told you, right, with this dog example, I believe. So when it's grouping things together, it'll put a charcoal painting into an abstract painting corner with glaze, and it'll put that abstract painting into a watercolor painting chamber with glaze. So that's how glaze works. But that is a huge problem with these two. These work selectively only for a few types of training models. Like it works with stable diffusion and every clip model, but it does not work with other things. So you're also going to have to be comfortable trying out the risks before you can get back into your regular posting schedule after you've been traumatized by AI. So that's that. And yep, that was mostly about it for the general crises. We're going to be going more in specific about the actual world. So now, thus far, we were in our own bubble. What's happening in the art community, blah blah blah. Let's see what's happening in the world. ChatGPT has caused a writers guild strike. Not just ChatGPT, all LLMs. LLMs mean large language models if you're not in the, role. Writers guild strike. You may think the writers have won in this after you've done your research, but it'll slowly get to them. Like if AI starts writing screenplay, every movie will start looking like Disney's Wish. Nobody wants that. But still it might happen in the future. And then indie films will get more famous. That's actually a good thing for us. We don't want the big corporations stealing the passionate artists' dreams, right? But I mean, some companies deserve it, like DreamWorks and among others. Okay, let's go to the next part. There are AI girlfriends now. Society is fricked. I know what you're thinking, man. Society is fricked. AI girlfriends. There is this company called Replica that makes customizable AI girlfriends for people without company or a life to talk with. So the problem till now was that men were facing a lot of pornographic addictions. Even I, at a point of time, was very addicted to it. Right now, I have quit, but I do have some relapses in the middle here and there. But the people who are using AI girlfriends, they're bound to relapse almost every day. Because there's this mode called dirty talk mode. And it's when they talk erotic stuff with these girls that are made using AI. It's essentially like a girl mask under which there exists an LLM. That's all there is to this story. It's very basic implementation. It's like there's a large language model, which essentially is the chat bot that you're talking to. And there is an audio generator, which does the audio stuff. And then there is a vision specific AI. Okay. What these two do are it converts the LLM's instructions into vision outputs and audio outputs. And yup, that was about the AI girlfriend. And the company that's making this is called Replica. A lot of people are addicted to porn. Why the hell do they want to make it worse for all of us? I don't really know. And in the end, after we've seen what kind of dystopia we are going towards, I'd not like to make it any worse, but I have to tell you something. ChatGPT scored on an IQ test something like 150 or 160. I don't remember the data exactly, but this was ChatGPT's score. You want to know what Einstein's IQ was? At that point of time, Einstein's IQ was 160. Although IQ scores are essentially how much smarter you are compared to the average man, and although average men have become smarter, this only further exacerbates the problem. You see, ChatGPT is IQ 160 by today's standards, but by the olden days standards, it might be 230 or 270 compared to Einstein. And Einstein made general relativity, friend. He made special relativity. Now, I don't want to say society is all screwed, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say that if AI grows and grows and grows uncontrollably, we're going to hit a stage where every one of us is going to need universal basic income. And I told you, right, you need to build yourself a distribution and all that stuff. That is fine and all, but what happens when AI is always better than you? Well, I have read this book called Aragon, and in it I found a line that helped me find some comfort. It was after they entered Weldon Warren. Wait. Nah, I can't find that page. But here is what the line went. Like, first I'll draw the character. So there is this character called Runon. She is a swordsmith. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I imagined her to be a she when I was reading the book. I did not really remember the descriptors now. I only remember the main character stuff. She is a swordsmith, by the way, as I told you earlier. Now, the elves, their species, they're capable of infinite magic. They can attain everything and anything they want, but they still choose to do their crafts. So what they're saying is, when anything can be reached, any destination can be reached, the journey starts mattering more. The journey itself starts mattering more. The journey matters more, like simply. Matters more. Okay, and that was about the line. So anything that can be achieved now. So the journey will matter more. What does that mean? Well, the process by which you get to your destination also matters. Like if you like a certain craft and you find if it's your certain purpose, then you shouldn't stop just because an AI is better than you. You should think of AI as a separate species, and instead of trying to compete with it, you should try to, forge your own path with your own species. Okay, that was about it for this video, and I got out all that was inside of my system, and I'm feeling a lot lighter right now. This video could be considered a rant, but I did discuss a lot of solutions and a lot of things that might help you. Okay, that was about it. This was a new type of content. If you liked it, hit the like button. And if you subscribe, you'll be getting more content just like this one. So, bye. Here's a brofist for your amazing attention span today. I'm pretty sure this podcast was plenty long. 30 minutes to be exact, I think. Boom. Yeah, man, I do realize that I do a lot of stupid shit when I'm in my flow state sometimes, but that's the only way I can finish long videos like that one. So I apologize for calling the video content. It's just a video. It's a podcast episode. So I should have said, thank you for watching this amazing episode. I will not make that mistake again. And I think videos do deserve to be called videos of their own, and podcasts be called podcasts of their own, instead of being grouped under this umbrella term called content. I think it's dehumanizing. I'm sorry for what I did. So that's about it. A brofist again, and this time it's the final brofist. Boom.